Now, in about 3 weeks' time, Labor will have its national conference in Brisbane. I'll cover it extensively here on the program. It looks like the party's socialist left faction is already calling the shots, though. A whole lot of, pro-Palestine motions, etc. on the table. Got to denounce AUKUS, all of that's coming. A list of the delegates at the conference obtained by The Australian confirmed that the left will have the majority for the first time since 1979. 49% of delegates is their total, compared to the Labor right with 45%. Joining me to discuss what this means for Australia, Menzies Research Centre's Nick Cater and former Liberal MP Nicole Flint. Thank you both for your time. Nick, I'll start with you. Nicole, I'll start with you. Part of the platform push that we're getting it sort of dribbled out day by day, but part of the push out today is they want an end to forest logging, and wait for it, in echoes of what's happening in WA, they want to crack down on the property rights of farmers. Now, I know you're from the land. Your mum and dad won't be happy.
Exactly right, Peter. And I'm actually down in the beautiful southeast of South Australia at the moment. That's where I'm coming to you from, hence a different background tonight. Look, the Labor left might as well go and join the Greens for all of the crazy policy suggestions they're coming up with, Peter. I'm not at all surprised to see this coming from them. I don't think any of them have ever left the inner city of, Sydney and Melbourne, quite frankly. If they had been out to regional Australia, they'd know how absolutely critical forestry jobs are, timber jobs are, and of course, all of our farming jobs, not to mention the tens of billions of dollars that forestry and farming contribute to the national economy. Farming's now worth $90 billion a year to our national economy. But Peter, it's just literally a couple of weeks ago since Chris Bowen announced that he's going to develop a sectoral plan, a climate change sectoral plan for agriculture. They've already released the National Statement on Climate Change and Agriculture, which has a heavy focus on cattle, of course. And we've got Labor's Nature Repair Bill that should have had the Senate report handed down. So that'll probably be before the Senate sometime soon, which I think there's a big risk that Labor might try and shut down people's paddocks so that they can return them to nature. Peter, we're seeing this madness overseas. We're seeing it in Ireland. We're seeing it in the Netherlands. I think it's only a matter of time before the Labor left and probably through their conference will try to shut farming down completely.
Peter, if I could just buy in on that logging question.
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, I was in Far North Queensland just over a week ago, where I saw the site of a proposed wind turbine development in the Chilumban Forest. This is rich, verdant, tropical forest, native forest. Labor in Queensland, Labor is sanctioning the destruction of 10 hectares of that, the logging of 10 hectares of that in order to build a wind farm. So this is a hypocrisy. You don't see the Greens hopping up and down about that one, do you?
Well, and you don't see the Teals either. We saw Monique Ryan carrying on about developing gas in the Beetaloo Basin. I mean, we've got to export stuff. We've got to obviously use gas here, but if we're not going to have farming, Nicole, and if we're not going to have fossil fuels being exported overseas, I don't know how we pay our way. I don't know how we pay for the NDIS and more. But Monique Ryan has a go at the Beetaloo Basin. We've got Kyla Tink out this morning having a say. Listen to this.
This sort of investment behind what is essentially a high carbon emitting industry is a bad investment for Australians at the moment. We need to get off gas. If this project proceeds, all the predictions are that that location will actually be underwater within 30 years.
It's all right when you're a member for North Sydney and everyone's rich and they've got great big guzzling cars and, homes that would fit 4 or 5 refugee families in them. But I mean, Nick, this is not serious.
Yeah, and those are areas, of course, where the cost of energy doesn't matter too much. It's where you have a low income that it becomes a high proportion of your expendable income. Look, this is just nonsense stuff, and she's clearly ignoring the report by the Net Zero Authority that came out, 3 weeks ago, which pointed out we're going to need a lot of gas between now and 2050 to back up these renewables that they're so keen of. Now, the Net Zero Australia are not particularly fond of fossil fuels or not meeting our 2050 target, but that's what realistically you say. But I guess if you're in the Teals and you never actually have any expectation of being in a government, you can just talk whatever rubbish you like.
All care, no responsibility. Look at this climate hysteria out of the Senate yesterday. It was an exchange between Greens Senator Nick McKim and Sky News favourite LNP Senator Matt Canavan. Have a look.
Mate, you can shut your mouth. You can shut your mouth.
McKim,
People are dying.
Senator McKim,
because
resume
of
your
you
seat.
and sociopaths like you.
Senator McKim,
I'm not going to cop interjections from sociopaths like Senator Canavan.
Senator
I will
McKim, resume
not cop
your
it.
seat.
Nick, what do you think?
I think it's appalling behaviour. No, two Nicks.
No, you have a go. Both of you go. Nick, you go first. Nick Cater.
Look, I think Nicole
Cater,
might have more
first.
to say about this. She's been in the Parliament. That is completely ridiculous, unparliamentary language, and it just is not becoming of a party that is a serious player in the public debate.
Miss Flint.
Completely appalling, Peter. As Nick Cater said, it's unparliamentary and he needs to be sanctioned. I mean, it's just disgraceful. But, you know, it just goes to the show that the Greens have no standards. They'll elect anyone. They'll pre-select anyone. And that's just a national disgrace. He needs to apologise.
Absolutely. Nick Cater, thank you. Nicole Flint, all the best to your mum and dad. I'll see you both next week.